hero.
7 different endings. During the interview at the Alamo Drafthouse Theater in Los Angeles for Joker, Joaquin Phoenix revealed that the final scene of the movie actually has 7 different endings to it. Phoenix said, quote, "That's the last scene. We did 7 different versions of walking down the hallway," end of quote. The version they picked for the finished movie sees Arthur Fleck, who's just been committed to Arkham State Hospital, gleefully running down the hallway, having seemingly murdered a hospital worker. He also squirms loose of the clutches of an approaching security guard before, fittingly, making his exit stage left while still handcuffed. Phoenix didn't want to reveal exactly how the other endings were different from the one in the finished movie, only that he's seen so many different versions of the film he won't be able to view it like the audience will, ending with saying, quote, "Maybe it's better? I don't know," end of quote. Another scene that was cut from the movie is when Arthur Fleck goes into a major rant about Murray Franklin during the talk show at the end of the movie. Despite one version of the scene being, quote, "the best take," end of quote, according to both Phoenix and director Todd Phillips, it had to be left out of the film. Speaking to the Associated Press, he said, quote, "For the first time in probably 25 years, I watched dailies, so director Todd Phillips and I would talk about which takes we thought worked. But my favorite scene, what both of us thought was my best scene because of a particular take, that scene is not in the movie," end of quote. Phoenix went on to describe how this can easily happen in film as scenes must fit together like a puzzle. He added, quote, "It's a cliche, but it's a puzzle, so you take out this scene and it affects the following scene. So a take that might have been really great no longer works. The best take for the end of his rant on Murray Franklin's talk show just didn't work. It was a really good take just on its own, but cut in with everything else, it just didn't work. An earlier take, one I didn't think was very good, was the one that worked best," end of quote. According to the 44-year-old star, the character's instability allowed him to be experimental with the way he performed his role, and often various takes made sense despite being totally different. He said, quote, "There seemed to be an infinite number of ways to interpret every moment or how he might behave in any moment, and there wasn't anything that didn't make sense. So we would do scenes so many different ways, and some I would cry, and others I would make jokes, and others I would be angry, and it would be the same scene, and they all made sense, and that's so rare. There's something really exciting about that because it keeps you in the state of like perpetual investigation and trying to find something new," end of quote. Before we finish this video, we just want to add some quick movie mistakes that we noticed while watching. Based on the films being shown at the theater, the movies appear to be set in 1981. One of the TV commercials shows the Energizer Bunny, which didn't make its first appearance until 1988. There's a scene where Arthur was hit by a car in the daytime. As he's rolling over it, it appears to be nighttime. Then as he lands on the other side, it's daytime again. The ambulance in the last scene is a 1992 Ford Econoline. The movie is set in 1981. Number 5. The Bat Hole. In one of the scenes, Arthur Fleck travels to the Wayne Manor in order to investigate his possible connection to Thomas Wayne. When Arthur arrives at the manor, he finds a young Bruce Wayne playing on a playset outside the manor. The set has a pole that Bruce can slide down to exit the small fort. This is a small reference to the famous Bat Hole that Adam West and Burt Ward often used to go from the Wayne Manor down to the Batcave in the 1960s Batman series and movie. Number 4. The Wayne family death and Batman's origin. At the end of the movie, Gotham is in chaos and the clown riot is tearing down the city, targeting the rich and famous. During the clown riot, Thomas and Martha Wayne are at the cinema with their son Bruce Wayne when they decide it's time to leave and they sneak out the back door. While outside the cinema, the Wayne family is stopped by one of the clowns from the riot, which kills both Thomas and Martha Wayne in the famous scene we've all seen throughout the Batman franchise. Though this is a clear reference to Bruce Wayne becoming Batman, a hard-to-spot Easter egg can also be seen. On the marquee of the theater is Zorro the Gay Blade from 1981. Depending on which Batman origin story you read, this is the inspiration for Bruce taking on the cape and cowl, with Zorro as part inspiration. Number 3. Alfred Pennyworth. When Arthur Fleck travels to the Wayne Manor, thinking that Thomas Wayne might be his father, he meets a small boy named Bruce Wayne, to which he shows off his magic tricks and hilarious dance moves. After having a short conversation with Bruce, a man comes running and tells Bruce to step away from Arthur. This man is the famous Alfred Pennyworth, whom we've all grown to love. Alfred is shocked when he learns Arthur Fleck's true identity and dismisses the rumors that his mother and Thomas Wayne would have had a secret relationship together, calling Arthur's mom delusional and insane. Arthur then attacks Alfred, strangling him before running away. Number 2. Deborah Kane. One of Arthur's earliest interactions, other than the group of teenagers who beat him up and swipe his sign, is with his social worker, Deborah Kane. Deborah Kane's a character taken from the Batman novel The Ultimate Evil. Her surname Kane is a reference to Batman co-creator Bob Kane. Number 1. Arkham Asylum. Throughout the whole movie, Arthur Fleck struggles with his mental health, so it comes as no surprise that Arthur visits Arkham Asylum at one point in the movie. Though we all know it as Arkham Asylum, it's changed its name to a more friendly Arkham State Hospital, where Arthur looks for his mother's records. Arkham State Hospital is also the place where Arthur was committed at the beginning and the end of the movie.
Can you please stop bothering my kid?
Sorry.
Number 5. Arthur kills 3 yuppies. Half an hour into the movie, Arthur Fleck sits on a train dressed in his clown costume when he notices 3 men harassing a young woman. One of the men tries to offer the young woman his French fries, but the woman politely declines. The man then starts to throw the fries on the woman, who gives Arthur a concerned look as if she's asking him for help. Arthur begins to laugh, getting the 3 men's attention. One of the men asks Arthur what it is that's so funny, to which Arthur replies with even louder laughs. The men slowly make their way toward Arthur, singing some sort of silly clown song while dancing towards him. One of the men takes Arthur's clown wig, following up with the question, "What's so fucking funny?" The men grab Arthur and begin to hit him. Arthur gets a hard right to the face, collapsing to the ground, and it's at this point all hell breaks loose. Arthur takes his hidden gun and shoots 2 of the men, killing them instantly. The 3rd man, shot in the leg, tries to run and yells for help. The train stops and the man tries to run for his life, but Arthur catches up with him and executes the man with several shots before fleeing the scene. Number 4. Randall and Gary. The scene starts with Arthur Fleck sitting in his apartment listening to some music while putting on his Joker makeup. The doorbell rings and in come 2 men named Randall and Gary, concerned about the cops coming by their shop asking questions about the killing of the 3 young men on the subway. The 2 men want to know what Arthur said to the cops in order to have matching stories about the incident. Arthur then takes scissors he has hidden in his back pocket and stabs Randall in the neck repeatedly, finishing him off by beating his head into a wall until he dies. Gary, who happens to be a midget, screams in panic, asking Arthur why he would do that. Arthur tells Gary that he's free to go. Gary is unfortunately too short to open the door, so he asks Arthur if he can open it, to which Arthur laughs and scares Gary before letting him out the door. Number 3. Arthur kills his own mother. In the middle of the movie, Arthur visits his mother in the hospital. He confronts her about making him believe his whole life that he's mentally ill and that all of his life is a tragedy. Arthur comes to his own conclusion that he believes that his mother is a monster who hid the heinous crimes against Arthur of his youth, all of which shaped him as a man. She's revealed to be profoundly mentally ill, but Arthur takes his revenge with great pleasure, suffocating her at her hospital bed while coldly calling her Penny to open the wound further. Number 2. The killing of the Wayne family. After the murder of Murray, a clown uprising grows in Gotham City. People dressed up as clowns target the wealthy people in the city and destroy everything that comes in their way. Bruce Wayne's father, Thomas Wayne, has been outed as a monster who thinks of the poorer classes as clowns who need to be fixed and from whom Gotham needs to be saved. He and his family are caught in the mob uprising, and a protester recognizes him, follows him into that fateful back alley, and shoots him and his wife to death. Number 1. The Joker kills Murray Franklin on live television. In one of the last scenes, Arthur gets a phone call from the Murray Franklin Show asking him if he wants to make an appearance in the show, hosted by Murray Franklin, played by Robert De Niro. Arthur agrees to make an appearance on the show in order to fulfill his gruesome plan. We watch Arthur rehearsing his appearance on the show. Arthur's plan is to kill himself live on national television. He's going to go out in a blaze of glory, seemingly so that his death will have more impact on the world than his life has to this point. Arthur arrives at the television studio for his appearance in full clown face paint, where he's asked to be introduced as Joker. However, after appearing for a while on the live show, Arthur is mocked for his bad jokes.
In a world where everyone thinks they can do my job, check out this guy. When I was a little boy and told people I was going to be a comedian, everyone laughed at me. Well, no one's laughing now. You can say that again, pal.
And he eventually ends up choosing not to go through with his original plan. Instead, he confesses on live TV to the murders he had committed earlier in the movie, condemns the city and its people for the way it treats its less fortunate. When he finally does pull his gun on the stage, rather than turning it on himself, he shoots Murray Franklin in the head, killing him instantly. Panic erupts in the studio, and the police are called to the scene. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.